Hey, today at the office, a coworker down the hall, Natalie, she's asked if Nancy and I have any kind of an Excel model that calculates a loan payment. And
We do.
We do, yeah. Good part is our model that we use is actually a 4-in-1 model, which is very useful. All right, here's our 4-in-1 model. We offer 4 different solutions to a loan payment calculation. What will my payment be? What will the amount of the payment be? How much can I afford? How long should the term be? In other words, how long should I be making payments on this loan? And should I be shopping for an interest rate or a better interest rate? I think what's kind of important about our model too, Nancy, what I really like about it, we're going to have to explain to Natalie, is that we offer this legend down here of function arguments. A lot of people forget when they go back to use this again if they don't use them over and over. For example, in the rate, that's 1.99% APR. But since we make monthly payments, there's 12 of those. So that actually ends up being divided by 12.
Right, correct.
Right? Number of periods, present value, future value. What's really cool also about the 4-in-1 is that all of the function arguments, all of them, are used in one way or another in each of the model elements here, each of the 4 different models within one model.
Just in a different order, depending on what you need.
I really like this solution here. Okay, Nance, well, I'll start off with the payment calculation and with just a few assumptions here before we get started. So the assumption is that Natalie's going to buy a car with this loan. She's talked to the credit union. They're offering a 1.99% interest rate for 60 months or 5 years. The car she's looking at is $23,145. A future value is what is owed after the final scheduled payment. Well, obviously we want that to be 0.
Right.
No balloon payments. The type is 0 because we want the payment due, the first payment and all payments due, at the end of the period, or usually what that means is 30 days after the actual purchase, you start your payments, right?
Correct.
As opposed to a type 1, which means you pay as you walk out the door on your first payment.
Not usually done with an auto loan for sure.
So with that, all I'm going to do is say, look, Natalie, you want to know how much is my payment going to be on this particular car? I go to the payment calculation results section. In the menu, I go to formulas, function library, financial, and I look for the PMT or payment function. And that we find right there. And I bring this up, and I drop it over here, and I say, look, I've already got my model filled out. It's really easy. Interest is 1.99. Remember, because that's an APR, I have to divide that by 12 because I make 12 even monthly payments on it, right? NPER, 60 months. Present value. Now, the reason that's a negative because it's a debt to start with. That's why we make that a negative. The future value, we don't want to owe anything at the end. The type is a 0, and we come up $405.58. Voila.
There you go.
It's just that quick and easy. It's real simple. What's really nice about this is if this model right here, she can go back anytime in the future and change any of these datas here, and it will recalculate whatever her payment's going to be. That's what I really like about this a lot.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, Andy. Well, I ran this down to Natalie, and Houston, we've got a problem. She can't afford $405 for a payment for a car.
I thought so. What can she afford?
Well, she told me the most she could afford is $350.
Okay.
That's
what? This is, I think if I remember right, this is why you like this particular model of the models.
Absolutely. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
And the reason why is too many people run out and they see a car or something that they love, fall in love, and then they find out they can't afford it. But this model will determine exactly how much you can afford by how much you can afford per month. So she said she could afford $350 per month. So present value formula will determine exactly how much car she can afford. So we'll go back up to financials and pull up the present value. Okay, same arguments. Her NPER, her payment of $350 this time, future value, and type. Okay, there's quite a difference of $19,973 and $23,145.
So based on that interest rate, 60 months, $350. That's all she can buy.
Right.
That's all she can afford is $19,000.
Right.
Okay.
But before she even leaves the house, she knows exactly that that's how much she can afford per month on a payment. So that's how much car when she goes looking, that's how much car she can afford.
Yeah. So in other words, go find a different model.
Right. I love this.
Yeah.
Or come up with a bigger down payment or something.
I like that one a lot.
Me too. Andy, I don't know if you remember about a year ago when Bob came up to me and he was looking to buy a new car also, but he was retiring in 4 years and did not want to make a 5-year loan payment on his car because he wanted his car to be paid off when he retired.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, well that's why the NPER part of this model is so important, and I work with him on this, so I'll show you how this one works. Okay, based on the same information we have here, we'll go up to the financials and the NPER. Oops, go past that. There it is. Same interest rate. We'll use the same payment in this case, just as an example, and the same present value. Type. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So in this case, it's coming up over 5 years, which
that's almost 6 years.
Right. So in Bob's case, this wouldn't have worked for him. And as I recall, we played around with this a little bit to get it to work for him. And I think I had told him that in order for him to be able to pay off his car within 4 years, he would have to pay something like $510. I think that's what we used. So let's change that. And there you go.
Oh, yeah. Just under 48 months.
Right.
Perfect, yeah.
So that's why the NPER is such an important part of this model as well.
So if you can afford that
Mm-hmm.
payment, you can reduce the number of payments.
Right. But
If you
again, it's
can't,
just
then
another
you have
option.
to reduce the present value, right?
Yes, you have
The
to
value.
buy a less expensive car.
That's a good model, too. I
Mhm.
like that.
It is.
Yeah.
Me too.
You want me to try that rate one here and practice that?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Nancy, fourth and final solution to this is the interest rate model within the models. Here, what we're doing is we're shopping for an interest rate in case we need to make adjustments to the NPR, the payment, or the present value. So let me get a solution made up here. So in formulas, financial, I'm looking for rate. So I go to the R's. I find rate somewhere, there it is, and I say okay, there's my NPER, my payment, my present value, my future, and my type. And unfortunately I come up with what is a negative interest rate.
Yeah, the credit union's not going to pay you interest on that loan.
I don't imagine
I don't think so.
I don't imagine they would. Now, what I do want to do though first is I'm realizing that actually what we have here is it's calculated to not be the APR, but it's calculated to be the APR divided by 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing what we've been doing
Right.
before automatically.
That's the way it's set up to do.
So really what I need to do here in the formula bar at the top after doing this, at the conclusion is I need to multiply this by 12, and let's just see what that does.
Ideal.
Oh, that gets way down there where it's ugly, right? So now it's time to start tweaking and looking at what I can possibly do. So I'm going to say, let's go up to $375 payment. Still not going to work. How about a $400 payment? Well, now I'm getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 1.43% APR. Now, if I reduce this down to say $22,000, is it going to be a more realistic 3.478? So At that 1.99, I would easily be able to fit that in here somewhere if I can make that payment and get the car that I want, right?
It's always good to have this option to be able to shop for an interest rate.
I think
always.
This is a good option as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, Andy, I'm back.
Hey, so what did Natalie say?
She's feeling really powerful. She's happy.
Powerful? What do you mean?
Powerful because now she's an informed buyer.
Oh.
Watch out, car dealers.
Yeah, so I'd like to be a fly on the wall when Natalie walks
Oh,
in.
yeah, I would too.
Well, if she's happy and she's on her way to buy a car, I guess you know what that means.
That means we're out of here.
So we're done?
We're done.
Good night, Nance.
Good night, Andy.